Here from HelenMartinOnline.com, and today I want to talk to you about frogs. You might see in the title there it says eat that frog. So we're not really going to talk about sort of eating frogs today. That's actually from a book. If you've done any sort of personal development, reading of books, audio books, those kind of things, it may be familiar to you, this book. It's called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Now, I'll explain that concept in a minute, because if you follow the concepts in that book, then it will or could lead to a more successful life in your business, whatever that business might be, and it can actually lead to more happiness as well. So it's really a great book to read, or if you're like me, I'm not very good at sitting down reading very often, so I listen to Audible. So I've downloaded Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy on Audible, and I just listen to it when I drive in my car. So I'll get to that in a moment. Those of you that have not connected with me before live, as I said, my name's Helen Martin from HelenMartinOnline.com, and predominantly what I do is help business owners, mainly home-based business owners, bring their business online and teach them about branding themselves, social media, lead generation, getting more leads and sales into their business, video marketing, those kind of things. But I do talk a lot about mindset, because unless you have the right frame of mind, unless you really believe in yourself, unless you think in a positive way, it's really difficult to be really successful in life. So how you think, what you believe, your actions, the way you carry out your life, it's really key to your success. But I like to talk about books that have an impact in my life, and if I've adopted those strategies and if they make a difference, and it's a good difference, then I like to share it with people. And that's exactly what this book, and I've read it before and I'm reading it again, and it's just like, it's so true. And once I adopted some of the strategies in this book, it really did change my productivity, which is really important to being more successful. So as I said, this book is called Eat That Frog, and it's by a guy called Brian Tracy. Now, Brian Tracy is a well-known speaker, author, figurehead that speaks to about 250,000 people per year regarding, becoming more effective in your life, being more successful in your life, and being happier. So I think he knows a thing or two that we could listen to, and he has spent over 30 years mastering time management. So if you look at somebody that's really successful and, yourself or the people around you, and think, why are they so successful? What are they doing that I'm not? And this is Brian's story in this book. So he didn't do particularly well at school, but wanted to be successful. So his strategy was, those people are doing really well. What are they doing that I'm not? So all he did, and this is a strategy you can adopt, all he did was ask those successful people what they did and walked in their path, and he found the same success. So this is all I do with my life. I follow people that are successful in the area that I want to be successful with. I pinpoint those people. I learn from them. I get mentored by them, and I just do what they have done to be successful. So everybody, whether you're successful or not, we've only ever got 24 hours in a day. We've only got 7 days a week. So why do some people really make it and most people don't? It's just how you use your time wisely, how you use your time effectively, eliminating the things that you are doing that are not going to get you to success, and doing more of the things that can get you there. So everybody's got the same 7 days. You think of people like, that's my dog, sorry, coming to interrupt and say hello. You think of somebody like Richard Branson. He's still only got the same time in a day that we have. So what makes him so successful? So all we need to do in life is pick people that are successful in your field, in your area, in your level of interest, follow their path and do what they do. This is what I've done for the last few years. Sorry, can you just stop, please? I'm talking to people on a live video. Yes, I am. Sorry, this looks really strange because I know you can't see my dog, but there he is. Right, time for you to get down for me to continue. So We just need to do more of the things that are not effective and start doing more things that are effective. So the title of the book, Eat That Frog. So the concept is, if you had a list of things to do for the day, and one of those things on that list was eating a frog, probably what you'd do is you'd procrastinate and you'd do everything else possible under the sun before you ate the frog. Am I right? Send me a like if you agree with me. I know I'd probably do that. It's like, oh, that's the most difficult task I have to do for the day, so I'll just avoid it and I'll avoid it and I'll avoid it. You know what it's like? Have you ever studied before? You avoid it. If you've got a really big challenging task, it's normally the last thing we do. So the principle of eat that frog. Now he's going to bark. Woody, can you be quiet? I'm talking to some people here. Thanks. So the principle of it is, if you, in your day, you've got a list of things to do. So if you do the most complicated, most ugliest thing that's on that list first and accomplish that first, then you'll be more productive. Now, what that also does, there's a science behind this, that when you achieve the most complicated task and the really big thing that you know is important, or is your most income generating activity, whatever it is, Buddy, please, I'm talking. Thanks, mate. That if you achieve that first, scientifically, what happens in your brain is you release endorphins and you release dopamine in your brain, and that actually makes you feel good. When you feel good, you do more of those things and you're more productive. When you're more productive and you develop skills that use your time more effectively, then you'll actually be more successful and you'll be happier. So I hope that makes sense to you. The basic principle, I'm not going to dissect the book and give it to you now. All I would suggest to you is go and find that book, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. But the basic concept is, the most important thing that you need to do that you don't really want to do that first thing in the morning. Achieve that, get it done, then whatever you do for the rest of the day is a bonus. But when you achieve it, you feel good, you feel accomplished, you feel like you've done good things. That release endorphins, it releases the happy chemicals in your brain, and you feel more accomplished, you feel like you're being more successful, if you like, and it makes you happier. The more you do those habits, the more it's ingrained as a skill and as something that just becomes your normal. When that kind of skill becomes your normal, you do it without thinking. And when you do that on a day-to-day basis, then you will be more successful. And when you create that success, you'll actually be a happier person as well. So the three sort of key strategies is to master any skill like that is decision, discipline, and determination. Make a decision as to what you're going to do. Be disciplined to actually achieve it. And keep that determination going. The more and more you practice a skill and using your time wisely, the more it becomes a habit. When you develop really positive, healthy habits, you'll have a more successful life. So this is sort of the strategy. If you can, now there's 21 effective strategies that Brian Tracy talks about in this book. I'm just giving you sort of the overview. If you can read that book and adopt those 21 strategies, or even some of them, it can actually alter the course of your life. Now, when I learned to tackle the biggest thing for my day first thing in the morning and get it done and get it out the way, then the rest of the things just flow, and I've been far more productive and far more successful with that strategy. Now there's other means of those 21 strategies that I've adopted from the book that have made a huge difference in my life. So the purpose of it is eliminating all the distractions, because you know what most people do with their day? They get up in the morning, they pick up their mobile phone, they start scrolling through Facebook, they start getting distracted by what's happening in other people's lives, they open up their email, they answer everyone's emails, oh that's interesting, oh I'll click on that, or I'll look at that, and oh that's interesting. The first hour, 2 or more of your day is gone on other people's stuff, not your priorities. So if you can learn to use your time more effectively, sorry the dog's back, eliminate distractions. Don't scroll through Facebook until you've achieved your first big activity for the day and achieved it. Like, don't be distracted by other people's stuff. You've got to pinpoint what your most important activity is for the day and achieve it. Eat that frog. If you've got 2 frogs that you need to eat eat the biggest, ugliest one first. Does this make sense? If this makes sense to anybody, please say so on the live. I can see there's people listening, but no one's saying anything. That's okay. I like talking to myself. But the main thing is also not only those 3 key qualities of decision, discipline, and determination, is think on paper. Don't just think in your head, think on paper. So you're eating frogs, you're making a decision, you're being disciplined, you're being determined, and now you're eating my jumper. Gosh, what a morning. And then you're writing it all down. So eat that frog. Go and buy the book. It'll make a whole lot more sense than what I've just said, here and now. But sometimes you come across a book that makes a big difference in your life. And it makes you more productive, it makes you more skilled, it makes you more focused on the things you need to do to get where you need to go. And that book, Eat That Frog, is one of those resources. So if you want to be more successful and ultimately be happier, that is a resource that I suggest that you go and get. You don't have to buy the book, just download it on Audible and listen to it while you're driving in your car. It's simple. So until my next live, I will see you then, hopefully without my little rat bag of a dog interrupting me. But until next time, see ya.